Tuesday Insights looking out to the next several days here at 1 Degree Outside Weather Network, 1degreeoutside.com. First of all, we continue with a feed of updating maps for brush fire conditions, wind, relative humidity, fire spread, smoke or air quality, basically. You can find all of that at livestream.1degreeoutside.com. That is linked at the bottom of our home screen on our app, or it is streaming also on our YouTube and Twitch channels. Again, if you want to find it on our website, livestream.1degreeoutside.com. Record warmth coming in tomorrow. We're going to talk about that. Cooler air that's going to end the week. And Tropical Storm Raphael does start the pattern change we talked about in pattern predictions yesterday, but we'll dig into that and how you start to see it a little bit coming up here in a second. Okay, wind is going to kick up as we get into the day tomorrow. Remember, today was covered by Danielle and 1 Degree Outside today, but here comes the breeze, 30-mile-per-hour gusts and spots, even as soon as 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. By the time we get to midday on Wednesday, your gusts are going over 30 in spots. That's all out of the southwest. It's bringing the mild air in. Obviously, it's having an impact on brush fire spread conditions as well. That wind may die down a little bit Wednesday night. Thursday, a cold front has come through. It comes through in the overnight Wednesday night, and in comes a breeze out of the northwest this time, which, again, probably dies down a little bit as we get to Thursday night. Total rain in the last 24 hours, we did get a little, but mostly it was a trace. We got a little bit more than that in northern Vermont, a little bit of that more than that in northern Maine. We'll take what we can get. It just wasn't anywhere close to enough to make a difference. Here's where the heavy rain was in the last 24 hours out across the nation's midsection, where we told you the monthly forecast, pattern predictions, insights, right? We've been talking a lot about the phasing of the jet stream that'll happen again and again in the central U.S. and keep bringing them some pretty decent precipitation. We look to the next 48 hours and say, well, we get a little bit here in New England. It's not a lot. We'll take what we can get. Southern New England really doesn't get that much. You say, how am I going to get that? Where does it come from, right? Aside from the leftover shower that's isolated here and there today, it's mostly with a cold frontal passage that, frankly, is mostly dry for Wednesday into Wednesday night. You can see Wednesday as we get to midday, some scattered showers across the mountains. Those sag southward as the cold front comes south by Wednesday evening into northern Mass, maybe down to the Mass Pike, and then they really have trouble surviving beyond that because they're running more and more to dry air, and that's why I say the farther south you go, the less precipitation you get when this cold front comes through Wednesday night. So today you've got the storm center itself that's winding up into Canada. It's going to drag that cold front through. That, of course, opens the door to a brand new shot of cool and dry air that starts to come in, right? Meanwhile, we're talking about pretty good surge of cold back behind this storm, so we get record warmth tomorrow. We'll look at the records here in just a second. But that cold air that digs south actually allows for snow all the way down deep into New Mexico by the time we get to Thursday, when high temperatures are in the 20s and teens across the Rocky Mountains. We start cooling, but we actually still are warmer than normal by Thursday and Friday, believe it or not. So in terms of predicted snowfall across the country, all eyes are on the Intermountain region and the Rockies. No change from what I showed you yesterday, with higher amounts in purple coming back with over a foot. Generally, it's going to be somewhere on the order of about 1 to 4 inches, depending on where you look, but that's where the snow, anyway, is going to be confined. I do think it's interesting that over the next 48 hours, you look at the rain forecast, and we start closing the gap. What I mean by that is you get the rain in the central U.S. Now you start to add thunderstorms and heavy rain in parts of the southeast. How long can we go before we get some of that too, right? And this is what we talked about in pattern predictions yesterday, that actually Raphael plays a role in that. I'm going to show you in just a second. Here is the map with the front coming through on our Wednesday late in the day. Again, it's not that much rain at all that comes with it, and then you open the door to a new, cool, dry air that's in for Thursday, for Friday, and frankly lasts you through the upcoming weekend as well, which, as you'll see in a moment, sends temperatures back below freezing by Saturday night. But here's what I mean, too, about, okay, you've got the moisture that's in place, and you're closing that gap, and then you're adding moisture this weekend from Raphael as it comes into the Gulf. So what you're going to end up doing is at least hopefully putting enough moisture in the eastern United States that by the end of next week, the second half of next week, and you'll see this in the 14-day in our app, the chance of showers starts to go up. Because when you get disturbances coming through, lo and behold, there might actually be enough moisture to create some showers around. So, again, this is partly what you have to thank for it. Raphael, which is expected to continue to come across the western tip of Cuba as a Category 1 hurricane, cross the Gulf of Mexico. And by this weekend, at least as of right now, the expectation is probably somewhere around the Louisiana coast. Probably not exceptionally strong because of wind shear in the Gulf of Mexico that kind of keeps it from getting all that strong. That's fine, though. It gets the job done of at least infusing more moisture into the eastern half of the United States. Meanwhile, records to beat on Wednesday. Most of these are daily records for the date. Although Portland, Maine, we actually have a chance, if we can get up into the lower 70s, of tying or beating the all-time November record for the jet port. So that would be interesting. But nonetheless, these were mostly set in 2022. Notice your forecast high temperatures. Yeah, Portland's going to be close, but a lot of us get up into the mid-70s and very likely end up tying or breaking records. Wednesday night doesn't get that cool. We'll stay in the 50s, 40s north. Thursday even, this is what I mean. You're behind the front. While the air's getting cooler, this is still warmer than normal. Even Friday, for the most part, is warmer than normal, even if it is a cooler feeling. Then this weekend, you're a little bit more seasonable on Saturday, and this is what sets you up for what would be temperatures down back below freezing for a number of us anyway on Saturday night. You can see not everybody, the farther south and east you are in particular. Reminder, if you want to get the 14-day, the hourly, or track the radar for these few showers anyway that are around, grab our app. It's Noyes' 1 degree outside weather app. You can find it on the App Store and Google Play. And thank you to those of you who continue to get the swag from us, swag.onedegreeoutside.com. That's how it looks for now. We'll see you over at the website, onedegreeoutside.com, and, of course, always on the app.